we're going to work on improving reading and listening skills. And this particular technique you can use no matter what age the student is. If they're a very beginning reader, you can do this. If they are even nonverbal, you can do this, as well as if your kids are in middle school or high school. So I'm going to show you a couple of examples. I have 3 different examples that we're going to go through so that you can see how this works. And what we're going to do to begin with, because it makes it really easy to begin with, is to start off with some nursery rhymes. Things that most kids should be familiar with, and if they're not, that you go over these so that they do become familiar. This is typically something, and when you do nursery rhymes, you know, it's preschool, kindergarten, first grade type of thing. It's a great one for starting this particular process of understanding what we're doing and how we're doing this. So if I'm not a reader, you know, I'm going to have somebody read this to me, and I'm going to go like this. Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. All the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty together again. You can see I have a typo here. My hands sometimes when I'm typing go a little crazy. So what did I do there? What did you notice that I did? What did I do when I was reading that? Any ideas?
You're using color.
Uh-huh. And what color did I use at the beginning?
Green.
And what color in the middle?
Yellow.
And the color at the end? Red. And so I'm indicating this is the first part. It's green. Now I'm going from the beginning part to the middle part. Then I'm going from the middle part to the end part. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yes.
And so now that I've done that, I can ask some questions, such as what happened at the beginning of the story? Did Humpty Dumpty fall down, or did Humpty Dumpty sit on the wall? So when did Humpty Dumpty fall? Was it the green? Was it the yellow, or was it the red?
The yellow.
The yellow.
Uh-huh. Could the king's men put Humpty Dumpty together again? Show green for yes and red for no.
Red.
Uh-huh. So you can use this same process with any type of a nursery rhyme. So like I say, where your student is just paying attention to the colors for the different parts. Now the other thing that is really great about this, and we're going to do another example, is that even when you're reading yourself, and you're in the 3rd grade or in the 5th grade or in the 10th grade or even in college, if you indicate on your page, here's the beginning part, and you can even, you know, highlight those notes with that color, and now this is the part that's at the middle, and then here's the part that's at the end. It's going to help you to retain the information better. Remember, using color is going to improve your retention by 25%. So I'm going to show you a little bit more how to do that momentarily. But first, we're going to do another nursery rhyme. So I'm going to move these out of the way. And I'll move them back in as I'm doing it. Little Jack Horner sat in the corner eating a Christmas pie. He put in his thumb and pulled out a plum and said, "What a good boy am I." So when did Little Jack Horner sit in the corner? Green, yellow, or red?
Green.
Uh-huh. And when did he say, what a good boy am I? Green, yellow, or red?
Red.
And when did he put in his thumb and pull out a plum?
Yellow.
Mm-hmm. And so, again, this is something that you can do with any age, but it's the easiest way to learn the process is by using something that's very short, such as a nursery rhyme. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So now what we're going to do is a longer selection. A California named Epperson was visiting in New Jersey in 1926. One cold evening at his friend's house, he was drinking a glass of lemonade with a spoon in it. He left the lemonade on the windowsill overnight while he slept. The next morning, the lemonade was frozen solid. Holding the glass by the spoon handle, he put it under running water until the chunk of frozen lemonade came loose. He named this invention the Popsicle and started selling it back home in California. Today, this treat is known as the Popsicle. So, what happened at the beginning of the story? Who can tell me what happened at the green part of the story? What happened during this part? Okay, good. He was drinking his lemonade. And because this is a little bit longer paragraph, what else happened during that time? He drank the lemonade, and then what did he do?
He left a spoon in it overnight.
Right, he put it on the windowsill and left it overnight. And then what happened at the end? What happened during the red part?
He named the invention Popsicle.
Uh-huh. And what do we know that invention as today?
A popsicle.
Uh-huh. And so we can do things like that with it. So we can ask a lot of different types of questions. Sometimes where you actually answer them, other times you can just be using the green, yellow, or red. Now, after doing this, then I'm going to go ahead and ask some questions. What do you think the best title for this would be? Visiting California. Actually, I have 4 choices, so I'm going to give you one more color in there. Let's go like this. And I'm going to change this color. Because I'm going to give you 4 choices for your answer, okay? So the first choice will be green. Second choice is yellow. Third choice is blue. And fourth choice is red. So the best title is Visiting California, A Cold Night, Making Good Lemonade, or How We Got the Popsicle.
Red.
You got it. Next one. Epperson was visiting Colorado, New Mexico, New Jersey, or Alabama. Which color?
Green.
Was he visiting Colorado, New Mexico, New Jersey, or Alabama?
Oh, blue.
Blue, okay. What we call a popsicle was first called an ice cream cone, an epsicle, a fudgy, an icicle.
Yellow.
Uh-huh. The windowsill where Epperson left the lemonade must have been warm, very hot, near the floor, very cold. And Ron says red. Good. The word chunk in line 7 means, so that's up here. He kept putting it under the running water until the chunk of frozen lemonade came loose. So that word chunk means flavor, thick piece, laugh, or triangle.
Yellow.
Yellow.
Uh-huh, yellow. So do you see how you can, whether you are able to speak much or not, you're still able to do things with color coding. It's going to make a huge, huge, huge difference because some of the students have a disability where it's difficult for them to speak. So I want to be sure that you know whether you speak really well or not, you can still learn and show what you know. And this is a technique for that. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And sometimes it's just, the other thing of this is that you are actually working with a code when you're doing this. And so even if you can speak, all of a sudden you have to translate that answer into a color. And so you're taking an extra step, so you're learning how to solve something that's a little bit more complicated. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And so this is just a good way of doing that.